Paul, I want to read, this is a story that is just breaking right now in the New York Times. I want to read you what Connecticut Attorney General Richard Blumenthal, man who's running for Senate, said at a ceremony honoring veterans in 2008, according to a New York Times article out tonight. He said, "We've learned something important since the days that I served in Vietnam, and you exemplify it. Whatever we think about the war, whatever we call it, Afghanistan or Iraq, we owe our military men and women unconditional support." So the only problem with this quote is that he never served in Vietnam. And according to the article in the Times, it's been pretty typical for him to speak of his years in misleading ways. They report that at least 8 newspaper articles from 2003 to 2009 describe him as having served in Vietnam. I mean, this is a savvy guy. This is a lawyer. This is the Attorney General of Connecticut. Why on earth would he mislead people as to the nature of his time in the military?
There is no good or ethical reason that he could have possibly done that, Anderson. The guy ought to have a chance to respond. I saw the Times story as well. He didn't really have much of a response in that. He pointed out, and our viewers should know, he did serve with real distinction in the Marine Corps Reserves, but never served in Vietnam. And you read those 4 words, "I served in Vietnam." That appears to be factually false. It's indefensible. It's a catastrophic mistake because it's not the sort of mistake people tend to make. You know, when I was landing on Omaha Beach and fighting my way up those cliffs on D-Day, that was not the kind of politician I was fighting for back then, Anderson.
We should say we called his office this evening. They have not gotten back to us. But, I mean, John, just politically, it makes no sense to do this. It's not, I mean, in this day and age where you have bloggers who, you know, check everything, and understandably, why would somebody do this?
It is, if you go back to the Vietnam-era politician, and Paul went through this when Governor Bill Clinton was running for president, it was a defining moment in the life of anyone who lived at that age and time. And so it makes no sense, it makes no common sense, you're right, in this age, everything can be fact-checked. And here is another race. This is the Chris Dodd retirement, and Mr. Blumenthal was viewed as the odds-on favorite, not only to win the Democratic nomination, of course, but to keep that state Democratic. This will add another wrinkle to another state, and the one of the few states that the Democrats thought we could put this one in our column. Now, he deserves a right to explain his case. This story is just breaking tonight. But in a year when people don't like politicians, they don't like calculating politicians, they don't like people who seem inauthentic or unauthentic, this will be a problem.
Yeah. We'll follow up, obviously, on it tomorrow night. John, thanks very much. John King, Paul Begala, Reihan Salam. Thanks very much.